At Mount Justice, the team sits around looking depressed and absent-minded, still shaken up after the horrific incident at Virtual Training Simulation. Veteran heroes Martian Manhunter, Red Tornado, and Captain Marvel watch over them, worried their experience may have not only affected their performance, but they have all been traumatized by it. Batman arrives and thinks the team would have gotten over it by now, but Martian Manhunter claims that trauma tends to linger. Black Canary provides counsel to them, starting with Superboy, but he storms out, refusing to talk about his near-death experience. In a park in Metropolis, an interdimensional portal opens, and a flying vehicle storms out. Later, it is revealed to be the Forever People. They spoke in an alien language until their leader used the Mother Box to adapt to the world's native tongue. He then used it to camouflage all extraterrestrial energy signatures and scan the planet. They were thrilled to discover the new Genosphere was on Earth and set off to retrieve it. Artemis shows up for therapy with Black Canary, but instead of opening up, she brushes her off. She claims that she isn't experiencing trauma like the others, having died early on before the simulation went haywire. Black Canary wonders if she is too tough to need help or too tough to admit she needs help. She points out that opening up to her teammates and asking for help is not a weakness, which Artemis claims she understood. Despite that, Black Canary wonders why she still keeps secrets from them. Artemis tells her not to tell them, to which she agrees, but Black Canary suggests she tell them herself, starting with admitting that she isn't Green Arrow's niece. Artemis worries about what Wally would say if he knew, to which Black Canary finds it intriguing that she is worried about what he would think. Up next is the team's brave and selfless leader. Aqualad explains that he was supposed to be their leader, but acted like a soldier during the simulation, and sacrificed himself without thinking about what it would do to the team if they lost him. He believes that because of his actions, he is not fit to command and resigns as the team's leader. Black Canary asks him who he recommends, but Aqualad struggles to find someone suitable to replace him. He describes Artemis as raw and untrusting, Kid Flash as rash and impulsive, Miss Martian as eager to please, and Superboy as having too much anger. Black Canary wonders if Robin would be the most logical choice, but Aqualad worries that he is too young and inexperienced to be a leader. Aqualad realizes his mistake and recants his resignation, claiming he can't transfer this burden to the others. Black Canary reminds him that they are all young, not just Robin. Meanwhile, Black Canary is pessimistic about Wally's nonchalant attitude during counseling. She claims that his behavior is surprising for someone who experienced death by explosion during the simulation. When he isn't responsive, Black Canary wants to discuss his extreme reaction to Artemis's death. He deflects and tries to change the subject, but Black Canary claims he is in denial. When it was Robin's turn, he claimed he was deeply traumatized by it. After finally becoming a leader, he winds up having to send his friends to their deaths for the sake of the mission. He explains that he knew what he did and what he needed to do, but he hated it. When they started the team, he was desperate to be in charge, but has now had a change of heart. Robin confides in her, claiming that he has always wanted and expected to grow up to become Batman. Although he still wants to be a hero, he claims he doesn't want to be like Batman, who is willing to sacrifice everything and everyone for the sake of the mission. Black Canary then talks to Miss Martian, who continues to blame herself for the incident. She claims that only she can turn a simple exam into a nightmare that traumatizes her friends. When she turned white, she briefly panicked and claimed that she couldn't be trusted to use her other powers. Black Canary claims that she is a Martian and that not using her natural abilities is like refusing to speak. She empathizes with her and shares a similar experience of an incident that deafened her entire first grade class when she first developed her powers. Black Canary claims that she knows how she feels, but not being herself is never the answer, and it won't make her guilty feelings go away. She advises her to learn from what happened to Witch's uncle, Martian Manhunter, would like to train her. She tells her to practice until she gains control and regains her confidence. After storming out on Black Canary, Superboy decides to take a breather. As he prepares to leave, the alien technology sphere blocks his path. When he orders it to move, it suddenly makes engine sounds and transforms into an advanced motorcycle, which surprises him. He then takes off, to which Batman orders him to return but discovers that he has ditched his comlink behind. While Superboy was testing it out, he ran into the Forever People, who demanded that he return the New Genosphere and all the technology he supposedly stole from New Genesis. When the Forever People were ready to fight for it, Sphere informed their leader through the Mother Box that Superboy did not steal her, but instead saved her from her captors, having realized that the leader ordered the others to stand down. The Forever People tell Superboy that they are what people would call new gods. They then introduce themselves: Dreamer, the telepath, Seraphan, the gunslinger, Moonrider, the quiet, and their leader, Viken. The strongman claims he is named after an animal that does not exist on Earth, so he takes on the name Wolf. Superboy claims his pet's name is Wolf, so the strongman decides to take on the name Bear instead. Viken explains that they tracked stolen technology from New Genesis with Motherbox, a living computer from their homeworld, and traced it back to Earth. They then fly towards Metropolis in search of another stolen tech, a rescue drill buried 18 meters underground in the middle of the city. Superboy was surprised to find a hole in the ground at a construction site. He claims it is the perfect cover for drilling underground, conveniently across the city's Federal Reserve. When Seraphan gets excited to take the thieves head-on, Superboy claims this is not the time to go in strong and suggests a more cautious approach. When 3 gang members stood watch, Dreamer turned into one of the gang members' mothers and walked in, wanting to give him a jacket. Later, he realized that Moonrider had come up from behind and knocked out his colleagues. Dreamer undid her transformation, but before the gang member could react, Viken used his powers to knock him out. Seeing the criminals, intergang members, load stolen gold into trucks, Viken brazenly walks up to them and demands they return the stolen drill. Instead of complying, the enemy attacks them with alien technology, firing a barrage of flying discs that subdue Viken. Bear charged at them, but the enemy used a weapon to turn the ground into quicksand and sink. Seraphan shoots all the discs when they target Bear and fires back at the enemy. Moonrider tries to help Viken, but he gets ensnared when a disc hits his back and traps him in a ball of dirt. Dreamer realizes that Intergang wasn't using their technology, but was using the enemies, the gods of anti-life. With Viken freed, he claims that fighting in a close space favors the enemy and suggests taking their battle in the open. They lure them outside, and the enemy uses the rescue drill to reach the surface. When the enemy slowly approaches them, Viken tells Superboy not to worry, for New Genosphere will protect them, and starts shooting at the enemy. With the enemy distracted, Viken tells the others it is time, and they raise their hands and shout "Taru," to which they merge to become the gigantic Infinity Man. The enemy tried fighting back, but Infinity Man quickly stripped them of their weapons. Worried that they don't stand a chance, Mannheim opens a portal and retreats, leaving Whisper behind, who gets captured by Infinity Man. After defeating the enemy, the Forever People then undid their transformation. Viken wonders how Intergang acquired technology from both New Genesis and Apocalypse. When Whisper states she will not talk, Dreamer claims she would not have to, and she then uses her powers to reveal the identity of their supplier, Desod. With Viken's approval, Dreamer explains that the new gods come from two worlds at war. She tells him that the Forever People come from New Genesis, home to the gods of life, freedom, and the Source, while their enemies are from Apocalypse, home to the gods of anti-life, slavery, and degradation. Desaad is known to be the god scientist and chief torturer at Apocalypse. She claims that his experiments are pure evil, along with his works, abominations, and his master. Viken later informs Superboy that Motherbox tracked a large cache of apocalyptic technology inside a hangar. Superboy uses his X-ray vision to check the place and claims no heat signatures. They tread carefully and walk in disguised as inter-gang members with Dreamer's powers, just in case Superboy is wrong. Later, they realize that they had walked right into a trap where the enemy awaits them with weapons ready. Mannheim claims that they have technology that masks their heat signatures and filters out illusions. Another battle with Superboy and the Forever People against Intergang members breaks out. Viken worries that the enemy's weapons are resistant to his magnetic powers. Outnumbered, Viken suggests transforming into Infinity Man before they get overrun, while Superboy keeps the enemy distracted. In the middle of their transformation, Desaad emerges after posing as one of the thugs. He steps out of his disguise and orders Roke to deliver the Father Box to Mannheim. Before they can complete the transformation, Mannheim throws the Father Box at them, taking control of Infinity Man. Desaad then orders it to attack Superboy, which sends him flying outside. Wolf helps Superboy fight against Infinity Man, but they are powerless against him, who crashes a plane on top of him. Infinity Man captures Superboy, and Mannheim turns to Desaad and asks him to finish it. Desaad claims Fatherbox already knows of his proclivities and has programmed Infinity Man accordingly. When it is about to crush Superboy, Sphere returns and attaches itself to Infinity Man's head. It then overrides Fatherbox and regains control of the giant. Superboy then leaps onto Sphere, which has transformed into a panel that controls Infinity Man. Desaad orders Mannheim and his men to attack it, but their weapons are ineffective. Having withstood their attacks, Superboy then fights back and captures Mannheim. He tosses him into the air and destroys the alien technology, catching him before falling. Superboy then continues to attack the rest of his men, destroying the apocalyptic technology on their backs. Desaad opens a portal and escapes, but he throws a grenade at them before he leaves. Superboy destroys it in the air, but the impact destroys the landscape and undid the Forever People's transformation. The blast severely damaged Sphere, which Viken claims may be beyond repair, but Motherbox will still try to fix it. Sphere returns to its original form, to which Viken claims that the healing process has begun and will be completed in New Genesis. Dreamer thanks Superboy for helping them retrieve the Genosphere, which they will return to New Genesis, but he refuses. Seraphin asks him why they would leave her behind, for she is alive with them, but for humans, she is nothing but technology to exploit. Superboy refuses and claims they have bonded, surprising the Forever People. Thrilled that they see it as more than technology, Viken agrees to let him have Sphere. Back at Mount Justice, Batman scans Sphere, and Martian Manhunter wonders what he expected to find. Although it has proven useful, Batman insists it still warrants investigation, as does everything in Superboy's report. Meanwhile, Superboy returns to finish his counseling with Black Canary. He explains how he was never devastated, even with the entire League and his friends dead. Ever since he woke up back at Cadmus, he has always wanted and feared to know how it felt to be Superman. In the simulation, he got that chance, so he was happy. While everyone else is traumatized by the experience, he feels guilty for being happy and wonders how he can get over the feeling. Black Canary comforts him and claims that although she has no easy answers for him, admitting it was the first step. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos, and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.